Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday morning. How is your day shaping up so far? Welcome to the program. Mm, mm. My coffee is still so hot, I almost cannot drink it. So, welcome. Glad to have you here this morning, especially on a Sunday morning. Around here, it's still fairly quiet, although I've heard the pitter patter of children's feet for about the last half an hour. I have not seen one yet. So, how is it over at your house today? 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning. I remember when Sunday mornings, all they were was going to church. And I was in a, um, what would you call it? Not a situation, a mode of life where for many years, all we did was prepare all weekend to go to church on Sunday. And we wore our best, suits and ties and all of that. And even when I was in my youth, and it was all about making sure you were there. It was all about community. It was all about fellowship and things like that. You didn't get up in the morning and say, "Wow, what am I going to learn at church today?" You got up in the morning and said, "Wow, I wonder if Jennifer is going to be there and notice my new suit." Or I wonder if what's going to happen? Am I going to have some fun times at church today? Fun meaning, obviously fun, exciting, interesting. Um I used to go. I loved the music ministry. I loved the song service because I love to sing. And I loved certain songs, and there were certain songs that were very gripping. Sometimes the music ministry was better than the actual preaching, or I would get more out of that some mornings. Um, I went to a church. The last church I attended was an evangelical free church, and my pastor, who I've mentioned many times, Parson Larson, I called him, John Larson. He was such a good teacher. He would get up and speak to you. He was kind of if any of you are familiar with Charles Swindoll, Chuck Swindoll, who used to do a radio ministry but had a big church. He was not one of those Joel Osteen types or the televangelist types. He was not that way. He was just a pastor. And they had a good ministry, and they did a radio program for years. I remember 40 years ago when I was in seminary. He was doing his daily ministry on radio, and you'd listen to that. So I enjoyed that kind of speaking, the kind of speaking that made you think about where you were, made you think about where you were with God, where you were with life. And of course, it all wrapped into your relationship with God because it was theologically based. So he didn't beg for donations. Exactly. Kenny, you know who I'm talking about. I think you're mentioning responding to Chuck Swindoll, my Chuck Swindoll comment. I need my glasses this morning. Whew, my readers, my cheaters, my beaters. All right, there we go. And by the way, good morning to everybody. Romeldian, good to see you this morning. Glad you're here. Roger Rabbit. Thank you, Roger. Yeah, the old one got a little, I didn't like all the fuzzy stuff up over here, and I thought, let's just keep it simple. It's like I did for Robertson Robertson. Where's our banner for that one? That one looks like this, and it was very simple and straightforward there. And I don't play the scroll bar during that show because I just don't. I could, but I don't. So scroll bar, we go back to this. Oh, who's here this morning in my studio? What do you need, baby? It's Rowan. What's up?
Dad,
Yes.
if I bought this and did this thing, do I have to pay that much at the beginning or do I have to pay the full price?
It's $24.52 per month for 24 months for that iPhone. Plus interest, I'm sure. What's the bottom line? You have your light on so dim. It's you have to use your Amazon store card.
What is that?
It means you have to apply for credit. You can't get credit at 11 years old. Sorry.
You could.
I could. But iPhones, yeah, it's a $600 phone, folks. $600 telephones for our children. I would do it if I had the money. I don't have the money for that kind of thing.
Yeah, but if I did the
So.
$4 one thing, do I have to pay the actual price at the beginning?
No. Why would you have to? No. That's to buy the phone. If you use their credit, Amazon's credit, they say, okay, you don't have to come up with $600. We'll charge you 24% interest or whatever it is, meaning for every dollar you say, what is it, folks? What's the going rate to buy credit? If you get a bank loan or a bank loan's different for a house, but it's like getting a house loan, only you're getting it for a phone. And they charge you exorbitant amounts of money. So if the phone is $600, you probably end up spending about $1,000 by the time it's all over, is my guess. And I'm using round figures. So $600 phone for my 11-year-old. I don't think that's in the cards yet. I would have to be much richer than I am now for me to even justify that. So now if you wanted to pay $25 a month yourself, we could look into it. It's your money. You'd have to earn that money, but not out of my pocket. That way I'm still paying for it.
I have more than $100 right now.
If you have more than 100, I'll bet you we could find you a good phone for, well, what was the last phone you broke? New phone that you broke that we're sending back tomorrow.
I want to get an iPhone 12.
I would. Oh, hey, I'll bet you Uncle Dave has an opinion on this. He's hanging in the wings. Uncle Dave.
No 11-year-old needs a $600 phone. That's just crazy.
Boom. I know. An 11-year-old does not need a $600.
And I know she doesn't. I can't even justify that for me. I wouldn't pay $600
Look at Dave
for
and
a
I.
phone.
We're grown-ups. We don't have $600 phones. What's my
Why
phone?
do you need a $600 phone? There are hundreds of Android phones that are just as good.
Because I want iPhone 12.
Because
I want.
I have more than $100 right now, so I could pay $24 a month down.
Uncle Dave, I have $100 right now.
I have more than $100. Stop
So
it.
so that would give you 4 payments.
I'm making fun of you.
It's
I only
still
make
only
fun of
gonna
you
pay
because I love
$100.
you. I think you should do. What did we pay for your last phone that you broke?
$49.
If you stopped breaking phones, I would reconsider. But
yes. Well, yes, that is a big factor, believe it or not.
Every single
how many phones have you had in the last
every
2
single
years?
phone? Listen,
How many phones have you had in the last 2 years?
You don't even have to come up with a number. What did her sentence just start with? Well, but every single phone I've broken,
Every single phone I broke though has been one that hasn't had a case or a screen protector because we forget to buy them before we buy my.
You had a case for that one.
You know what? You go online all the time. I go online when I need a new screen protector. They're like $8 or $9. It's not that big of a deal. You could have at any time gone online and gotten yourself a phone case. So that's not a good excuse.
Well, mom gets some of the phone case. We can get them for a few bucks. So
actually, I'm buying my own phone case.
But mom orders it because it's we order them on our Amazon.
Right.
But
I mean,
you know what? You can if
they're not even $20.
You're getting a new phone, by the way.
I know, but I want an iPhone 12, Dad.
She's getting a new phone.
It won't be an iPhone 12. Too bad.
Give me your phone for a second. Go get it. So
let me ask you this.
God, by the way, she's going to get her phone.
Let me ask this. Does the new phone make phone calls? Yes. Does the new phone allow you to text? Yes.
Go get your phone and bring it back.
Allow you to go online? Yes. What more do you need from a phone? The iPhone is going to do all the same things that
the old phone is going back. We're shipping it back. Thank God I bought the warranty on it for an extra $7. And I stood there and went, okay, we'll get the warranty. She's broken too many phones. and I asked specifically, I said, so for this $7, if my child brings this to school say in 2 days, and drops it and shatters the screen. Is that covered? He goes, oh, yes, it's covered. Okay, fine, let's do it. Brand new phone. What do you think happened 2 days
3
later?
days later, you called him and said, okay, she dropped it and shattered
She
the
dropped it. Yeah.
Actually, it wasn't even 24 hours after we got it, Dad.
Okay, it wasn't even 24 hours. Here, look at this. See, she's got, see that corner of that screen? And it's split down there. You see it down
so
right
is that
down
the screen or is that the screen cover?
That's the screen.
We never bought a screensaver.
Why do you not put screen?
Mom's
I
got,
put screen
Mom's
covers on
got a
mine.
bunch of those. Mom's got
They
some.
don't fit my phone.
Look at all
They're
those
not-
cracks.
they're not-
Oh, they didn't fit her phone. We had to go and buy
Yeah,
them.
but Scott, go on when the new phone comes. Go online and buy the
That's
right
what Raini does. Raini does that for them.
because it's actually pretty cheap. I've replaced my glass on my phone 3 or 4 times.
I've got the same thing on my phone. I've got one on my phone. And
Okay.
we've got them on all our phones. It
And
was
how
just
often
so
do we drop our
new.
phones? We
It
just
was
don't.
so new. Raini hadn't ordered it yet.
The
So
only phone I haven't cracked was that new one we got, but we had to send it back.
Romeldian said my phone is almost 10 years old, and I bought it back in my junior year in high school or college. Well, hi. I don't like cats.
Hey, Bob Sackett.
Bob
What do
Saget.
you mean, Dad? God.
Bob Saget. I got a good picture with him last night.
Yeah, you did.
So
You know what? If you want me to buy an iPhone, then I'll ask Abby and Bear for Christmas.
yes, she does, Roger Rabbit. You need an OtterBox Defender case,
I'm
which
not buying an OtterBox case.
oh, you know what?
Because they're not cool,
expensive.
man.
They're super expensive,
You're
but
not cool,
it would
man.
defend your phone
You
from
know
being
what,
broken.
Dad?
You drop your phone so much.
I'm using my money that my friend gave me to shut up, and I'm buying my own phone case.
Your friend gave you money to shut up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put that one together for a minute.
Yeah.
Ow! Stop.
It's exactly
I
what she said.
I don't need to put it together. I'm just I'm just thinking, is she not taking the hit because she's making money, or is she...
Yep. Lucky Stone says I bought a set of 3 screen covers and replaced them all in less than a year. My screen even had a Gorilla Glass and still use screen covers. Yeah, that's how Raini buys them. She buys them in these boxes of 3 or 4 or whatever they are.
That's what I do too.
And so, Rowan, you must be old enough to babysit.
I want to babysit.
A great
but
way to save up for what you want. Well, I don't know. She's 11. I think in Wisconsin. Well, in Wisconsin, you have to be 10 years old to be able to stay home alone.
No, you have to be 11
without
to
parental
babysit.
supervision.
'Cause
11
You have to go to the
by the law?
Yes, because you can go to the center and get your babysitting certificate at 11.
There you go.
Certificate.
Maybe you should do that.
See, that is so Wisconsin.
Mhm.
If you're going to babysit, you need to be checked out, certified, and permitted.
Yep.
I don't
You got
remember
your
that when we
permit for
were
that?
kids.
And you
But,
can be 12 to go get one drink with your parents at the bar.
it's Wisconsin.
I rather doubt that.
Nope. I think that's true in Wisconsin.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
crazy.
Hey, we'll have 2 scotches. Yeah, she's 12. She's with me. I'm her dad. Line them up.
Actually, you can only have one drink, Dad.
Well, then I'll just buy you the rest and slip them to you. Because I'm a responsible dad like that.
Because this is
We're
Wisconsin.
gonna build up your taste for. Oh, I found
Only in
speaking of that.
Wisconsin, you can have a town of like 200 people, one gas station, one grocery store, and like 47 bars.
47 bars. That's it. Like here in town. What are we? You've been through Somerset. Somerset is basically a half a block long. The business district. It's got there is a police station. Do we have a fire? Where's our firehouse? It's way up on top of the hill.
It's by
So,
the hospital.
It's over by it's up by the the hospital is in New Richmond.
Or a clinic.
Is it volunteer or regular?
Our clinic's
There's
2
a-
minutes away.
There's a clinic and there's a fire. You know, you got the little centers in these little towns, but then way up about a half a mile up on the hill over by the highway entrance, then it builds up there to the fire stations up there. There's a couple of stores up there. The Quick Trip is up there, stuff like that. But when you go into town, There's no big buildings. There's a couple of old buildings downtown.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have belittled Somerset. I didn't realize you guys had a quick trip.
And we do have a quick trip.
Oh well, that
We got a
changes
quick
everything.
trip. And what else do we have here?
Do you have a subway?
We
Do you
got
have
a
a subway?
speedway. We
Yeah,
got a.
have a subway.
Do we have a subway? Where's the subway
It's by
here?
Dick's.
It's by Dick's Market.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got
well, there you go.
supermarket.
Your town's booming.
And there's there's a little strip mall.
You're a
A
city.
little tiny
You're not
strip
a
mall.
town. You're a city.
We're a city.
You got
And
a subway and a quick trip.
subway and a quick trip. But if we want to go to like Walmart, we have to go to New Richmond
Or Stillwater. I like Stillwater.
or
Yeah.
Stillwater. Yeah.
New
Well,
Richmond.
Stillwater's big.
Overrated, I reckon.
I like Stillwater.
So
better.
my point being, what was my point about talking about small town? You can go downtown here and it's a blink of an eye. And it's spread out a little bit. You know, you go up around the curve and up the hill a little bit. Oh, there's another gas station. There's a hardware store up there. And
Rowan.
stuff like that.
Rowan.
I need to look at the cat.
Rowan. Lean into the camera. Your hair is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, it
It's
is.
not
Yeah.
done yet.
It's not done. I have so much more to do with this.
I'm gonna put some pink highlights and
Yeah,
a few
it's coming
purple
down here.
ones.
And as soon as my own roots start growing out, then I'm gonna shade that blue.
Actually, I have to brush it. and
What color are you gonna do your eyebrows?
Oh, brushing
not
and
doing
straightening.
my
She's
eyebrow.
talking about.
Actually, I accidentally dyed my
What color are you
eyebrow.
gonna do your mustache?
Yeah, is gonna match your hair or?
What color are you gonna dye your white hair? Wait, you don't have any.
Yeah, I do.
I think when I cut the beard off, I'm gonna go red again.
Still growing in. No, Rowan, leave it like it is, says Leslie Holker.
I'm leaving it like
Hey,
this.
Leslie.
I just have to straighten it and brush it.
I just have to straighten it.
It's pretty
Have to
straight now.
straighten it
I
and
think.
brush it.
I'm going to a play tonight, and I have to dress fancy because we're going to like an $100 restaurant because we're so fancy.
Are you going out? Are you to the theater?
We're going to $100 restaurant. Don't you know?
I'm going out with Waylon and Isla and Noah, which is their dad's name.
Noah's taking his kids out to a play tonight, and
me.
they invited Rowan to come along.
I know because I'm better than Flynn.
So
Just like how they invited me to go to Wisconsin Dells and not Flynn. Well,
There-
that's because Flynn already went, and Waylon wanted to bring
such
someone that
sibling
didn't.
rivalry.
Yeah.
I get to go to the Wisconsin Dells, and you didn't get invited.
Well, Waylon told him he would have invited him, but Flynn already went, so he didn't want to bring him. So he brought Braden instead.
Let's see.
Even though Braden got in trouble with the police or the security
That's readers.
because we
There
ran
we go.
downstairs. We asked
Braden
their
is a good name.
Shasha. We asked their parents if
Chasha.
we could go downstairs to the store and stuff and Josh and get some food. And then Braden started like screaming down the hallways, and then we had to hide because security was trying to send us back to our rooms. But we made it to the store and bought our stuff.
Rowan, quiet.
done?
Interesting people are thinking.
Yes.
Shut up.
Alyssa Fillion, welcome. Good to see you, Alyssa. Old friend of mine, old friend of my mom's. Nice to see you. I don't think I've ever seen you here before.
Stop it.
Let's see. What did Leslie say? She said,
Stop.
I said that earlier. I love the color she has. No, Rowan, leave it like it is, says Leslie. I mean, do be adding other colors to it. It's a beautiful color as is. Looks beautiful on you. I think you said don't be adding other colors to it. That's what she probably meant. There's Philip
It is
Blair. Good
beautiful.
morning.
I'm not adding different colors. That's
Okay,
just, that's what
keep
my
the cat
dad
off of me. He keeps clawing at my shirt because you're pulling him. Here.
No, don't take
Okay.
my baby.
Then keep him in your arms. Oh no, $100 restaurant would just cause me anxiety, says Lucky Stone,
Well, it's probably
of what I could use the money for and enjoy long term over a quick over processed meal. Ain't that the truth? You go out to a restaurant, and I can't take my family out to the restaurant anymore. It's we go, if I stop at, now this, I don't consider this a restaurant, but say you go through the drive-through. Everybody wants a cheeseburger. Okay, let's go to McDonald's, go through the drive-through. I get Raini can't eat any of that crap because she's all gluten-free.
She eats the fries.
So she can
anyways.
eat fries.
And a gets a
And
smoothie.
I'll usually get fries in a shake or fries in a drink or something. But these kids, you get 3 meals for the kids. Let's say 3. They all like Big Macs, so you get 3 Big Mac meals.
Happy
for
Meals
the
make
kids.
everybody smile, but Dad.
Yeah, and you're spending $60, $60 freaking
ridiculous.
dollars to go to McDonald's.
Actually,
And-
actually, I don't like McDonald's, but I like
I don't
their
either.
fries. So I usually get what Mom gets, and I get a fry and a shake.
Long gone are the days, and I've mentioned it before. When I was a teenager, they used to run an ad on TV for
You could
McDonald's.
get a Big Mac,
You
a
could get a
shake,
Big
and
Mac,
fries,
a
and
burger,
less than $5.
and fries. I'm sorry, not a Big Mac, a burger, fries, and a drink, and still get change back from your dollar. That was their ad campaign, and it shows some happy miserly dude getting his nickel back.
When I was in high school, it was $5, but still, I didn't have a problem dropping $5.
Oh, well, a Big Mac meal, yeah, was $5.
But
now
I didn't
you're
have-
spending almost $10 for a Big Mac meal.
Oh, easily. You don't walk in there without dropping $10 a piece at McDonald's.
And it's like, I remember a line from, remember the movie About Last Night with Jim Belushi, Rob Lowe, Demi Moore?
Those guys made a movie about last night?
Yeah.
What happened last
they
night?
They had a scene in the movie toward the end where Rob Lowe's character opens a restaurant, and his friend is a restaurant supplier. That's what they did for work. And he comes in with some supplies, and he looks at the menu. He goes, "Oh, nice." He goes, "Pink menus," he says. And then he looks at it. He goes, he says, $8 for a burger and fries. And he tosses the menu. "I think I'll eat in town," he said. And he's just ribbing him. But I remember that line because $8 for a burger and fries. And now I'm like, I'd take that. $8 for a burger and fries. Hell yeah. So
You're
now,
adorable, Rowan. You're adorable.
You're a door. A bull.
You have a line.
I still have a line from being asleep. That one didn't go away. So I think it's just a new wrinkle.
One thing about McDonald's that costs us so much money is Ellery, because she usually gets 2 meals, not 1 but 2.
Ellery, little wiry, over tall, very tall. She's as tall as Rowan at 2 years younger.
Well,
okay. She's only this tall, Dad. She's not this tall. And
still, she's 2 or 3 years younger than you. She shouldn't be that tall.
Yeah, she's always she gets together with kids her age. Rainey has her signed up for hockey and takes her to hockey for second graders.
They're all this short.
And Ellery's rolling around. She looks, she looks like a monster. She's Goliath compared to all the other second graders. And but she's skinny, but she'll order food like that. She'll be like, "Yes, Dad, I would like a Big Mac and a Big Mac and I hold the pickles, hold the lettuce, hold the tomatoes, hold the, just a Big Mac. And then I want fries, large fries. And I also want, okay, and then I'll order at the window. Okay, she would like a Big Mac kids meal. And, but then I also want the 8-piece chicken tenders, that 8-piece. Well, no. And I look back, no, you don't need 2 meals.
Actually, she goes, "I want a burger and chicken nuggets and fries and a drink."
And what she wants to do, she wants to take a bite of the burger, and then she wants to take a bite of chicken nuggets. And, most of the time, when we have done that, Rainey's done that for her, we end up throwing it all away, most of it away. But anyway, I don't like to feed my kids at McDonald's. That's like, if you want a junk food treat, sometimes we'll go to McDonald's.
That's how it was when we were kids. When we were kids, it was a treat once in a while.
This one loves sushi. We go for sushi. I like sushi.
We should go for sushi instead of Chinese the next time we go out.
It's the same place.
We go to Chinese to get sushi.
We go to the big Khan's, what used to be Khan's Mongolian barbecue in Stillwater. It's now just Mongolian barbecue.
Yeah. I've been there many times.
I think it was a Star Trek fan that owned the place, and he goes, "I cannot have the name of Khan, and he changed it to just Mongolian barbecue. And so they got a beautiful, buffet.
It's good.
If you're into that.
It's a nice buffet.
And but they have a sushi buffet as well.
Yeah.
which is nice. And they also have is it called teppanyaki?
Yep.
Where they have the big flat fry pan, and you can get your bowls full of your raw ingredients, and they fry it up in front of you. And
That's the Mongolian barbecue part.
Now, we don't have much opportunity to go up there because you walk in there, again, you're dropping. It's better than McDonald's. I can spend less at the Mongolian barbecue for a family of 5 than I spend at McDonald's.
Yeah, that's
Go
where I take the
figure.
kids when I take them out for Chinese.
Yeah. Uncle Dave, you going to come take us to Chinese? See, I'm like that now. I'm like, hey, Dave, why don't you come on over? You want to take me to Chinese?
Yeah, I will, Scotty. You deserve it.
Uncle Dave, guess what?
What?
You didn't give me a birthday present, so.
No, I told you I was going to take you to Chinese for your birthday.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
you
he said.
didn't.
Well,
I
he
haven't
doesn't
been
on
there
your
yet.
birthday. He hasn't been here. He's
Well-
got to be here first.
Well, don't come today, because I'm doing.
Well, don't come today. Just because I said it doesn't mean you have to rush right now.
You know what? I'm not going to because I have to be in Minneapolis at 3:00.
You know, Uncle Dave lives an hour and a half away from here.
I have to be in the
So-
cities by 5:00.
Yeah. So, yes, I have to be in the cities. Am I sophisticate here? I've got to play. We're going to see a play.
We're going to the theater.
The theater, yeah.
Are you getting your nails done?
No, I'm doing them myself actually because Abby and Ray got me a nail set because they actually got me a birthday
Not so good. That's really.
Did you catch that? Abby and Bryn got me a nail set to do because they actually got me a present.
Yeah. But if you're going to the theater, you really shouldn't do your own nails.
Theater.
That's really low class.
Now, are you going to the theater RE or are you going to the theater ER?
I don't know a theater.
The theater. THEATRE. Theater. Roger Rabbit said, I straight up can't afford fast food anymore. Budget is way too tight. I was able to treat myself to a large Diet Coke from Mickey D's for $1, but they increased the price here to $1.95. Too
Is
rich for
Grumpy
my
on here
blood.
this morning?
I haven't seen Grumpy. If he's here, I haven't seen him yet.
All right. So he can't take offense from this.
Yeah.
Are you going to the theater?
You going to the theater? No, he's from down. That sounded almost Oklahoma-ish. He's got a more he's Louisiana, so he's got that. I was down driving through the swamp, and down in the swamp there, that made me kind of hungry. I was looking for that McGator. So he's got the Louisiana thing going on. Is Field Guy here? Field Guy doesn't have much. Well, he's got an accent. He's got that little bit of a drawl. Oh. Grumpy Stack is offensed.
Damn it.
I'm offensed. Guess what, chicken butt? Lucky Stone said that's what my mom says. My mom. Rowan's mom says to her all the time. My wife. So. Oy.
So, how are you this morning? We haven't even said Rowan's kind of dominated this whole
good morning
conversation.
yet. Yeah, I'm doing all right. What do you think of the lighting in here? I've been working on the light. I need. Oh, that you were the wrong person. I don't want you to think I'm rubbing in the whole theater light thing. No, I'm trying to get the lighting to work, and I look and my face looks absolutely flat.
Yeah,
for lighting.
I've got to get over there this week, and we'll hang the lights and stuff.
She's got the other cat now. There's Oscar.
Hi,
Oscar
Oscar.
Dunois. So, hey, Oscar. He's the old man. He's a good cat. He's my good old cat. He's not getting around too well these days. Oh, he's purring already. That's my good old cat. He's the big fat black cat. I don't know that he's so much fat. He got fat at one point and we cut his diet way back and he just never got back down.
He just got a lot of hair.
He got a lot of hair. And until Rowan shaves it all off. So, but yeah, he's hurting and he aches in certain places and he couldn't get around to, clean his lower end as much as he used to. And he'd get matted fur down there. So finally we just shaved him down on the butt. And he shaved down his, well, we've done it before you. And then Rowan did it again the last time. So he walks around, a big fat black cat with hair. except his back from about his shoulders down is all shaved out, big rectangle. So hasn't grown back in yet. I sent Grumpy a picture, says Roger Rabbit, of freshly skinned alligator. He didn't start drooling and want to eat it. I'm not sure he's really from Louisiana. He's a transplant down there.
I've had alligator, and I ain't impressed. It's kind of.
I haven't had no alligator. I haven't tried alligator. I haven't tried croc.
Alligator reminds me of frogs. It's got a sort of swampy taste to it that I just don't,
Alligator swamp taste. Yeah, and why do you want to live somewhere where you could go out in your backyard one day
and
see an alligator dragging your dog off into the pond,
or be
eaten?
It's
not for me. That's why I don't want to live in South.
What you got? A what?
My computer.
Oh, your computer.
Her
all
laptop.
I could see was all the stickers in it. I couldn't tell what it was. I see.
They're my awesome stickers.
You're in my personal
It's
space.
got tween camouflaging on it. So.
And good morning, folks. Welcome to the program. Scintillating broadcasting. I'm from New York City, says Grumpy Stack. I'm from New York City. New York City. I just walk around. I see all those people, and I go, Don't you got no Cajun food down here?
Stop talking like that.
Well, I got some cut up, some gator, and cut up some onion, and put a little Cajun spice in
New
there.
York don't eat any better. Turtle soup and snails.
Turtle soup. Oh my! By the way, Grumpy Stack gave me when I was down there almost 2 years ago now. Grumpy. That he gave me a bunch of salts and seasonings that his mom makes, and I still got some of those up in the cupboard. Good stuff. So, what else we got? Is Steve Clark here this morning?
I haven't seen him.
I haven't seen him yet. I just want to say, everybody, to Steve Clark, for about 4 days, Steve has been messaging me every day. Did you get a package from me yet? Did you get some mail from me? I mailed something for you. I go,
Did you get it?
I haven't seen it yet. Just late yesterday afternoon. And I want to thank Steve Clark. What an amazing Christmas gift. I appreciate that. And I will say this. He sent us some money, but he did it the old-fashioned way.
He robbed a bank?
I saw this envelope. Yeah, he robbed a bank. I saw an envelope, and I was going to rip it open, but I didn't want to rip through anything, so I always hold it up to the light to see where the container of the what's inside, and it looked like a check. I said, I think he sent us a check, and I tear it open, and out drops money. I went, whoa! He just put money into an envelope and mailed it. That's
why he's like, have you gotten it? Have you gotten it? Have you gotten it?
Yeah. So thank you to Steve, who is not here this morning, but I appreciate that. My family appreciates that. That was wonderful. What a beautiful gift. And thank you. I was speechless last night. So thank you for that. And Rainey grabbed it as it fell out of the envelope. She goes, I'll put that in my wallet. And I'm like, wait.
What does your shirt say? What does your shirt say, Rowan?
What?
1 second.
What? So there you go.
2 ones?
No.
Does
If
she
I
need
wanted
some
to
cash?
say it out loud, I would say it out loud. I don't think that's proper. So there you go.
It says it's funny how you think I'm listening. Gosh.
Children. Well, how much was in there, Dad? How much was in there? How much was in there? Tell me how much was in there, Dad. Dad, how much? I'm not going to say it online. So I just held up my finger. So she goes, was it 2 ones?
Was it this many?
Rowan.
Something like that.
Leave it.
Let it be. So I think Steve would be okay with it, but I just don't think I didn't think it was proper. Leslie has sent us lots of money. She gives us regular donations for this show and for us, and I appreciate it.
Hi, Ellery.
Well, hi. How are you?
Good morning.
What you doing? Yeah, as soon as the other one comes. Sure, the little child comes in and you ignore me now, says the other one. So, what's up? What? Let me see that. So, Rainey got this thing yesterday. You know, it's one of the little handle and the little grabber.
Yep.
I know we've had it for over 2 years. Thank you, Peanut Gallery. All I meant was that she got it and brought it into the house yesterday for some reason. And she's doing this, and she's coming up to me, and I'm watching something on the TV, eating lunch, and she starts trying to grab my nipple with it.
Purple.
I'm like, don't grab my nipple with that thing, and that's all this is for now. You know?
Never said that.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No, you didn't.
Oh, what are you, the recorder of the house or something? Huh?
Ellie Bully the orator.
I said something. I said, get that away from my nipple. So there you go.
We record everything.
Rainey thought that was funny. Yeah, we've got the in-house security system, the cameras, and you can look them up on your phone. You can just double check if we're out or anything. And now, anytime there's an argument or anything, the kids are just look it up on the camera. I didn't do that. I didn't kick her first. Just look it up. I'm like, oh, you shut up and go away.
I grabbed my clan tartan mug because it's over 20 ounces. Because I always run out of coffee midway through your show. And I thought, hey, I'm just going to grab the big and do a double one today and not run out. What do you think I've done already? I've emptied
What have you done?
Or pretty much emptied it. I've got like 2 sips left at the bottom of it.
I got a big mug here this morning, and it's probably not as big as it looked, except it almost drained my carafe for French press, which I think is 16 ounces. So this is a pretty big mug.
I normally drink out of a 10.5 ounce
on
cup.
The bottom.
And this is easily twice that. So 21 ounces, maybe. And I can't believe it. If out of coffee already.
Yeah, I know. How did that happen? And do you have any kids to go refill your cup?
And that was my second one because I woke up early this morning. I woke up at 7 something and decided to get up. And wasn't thinking about the show. I was just thinking, hey, I've got stuff to do today. I'm going to get up and I'm doing stuff. And at about 8:30 or 8:40, I went, oh my God, there's a show today.
I'm looking at. I have a radio, television, and movies accent, says Philip Blair. Works well here, but in Australia, my fellow Espies, autism. Is that what you call people with autism, Espies? Have more of an American accent than their fellow Aussies. Curious bit of trivia. Well, that's interesting.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't know that. Crikey.
When does Wendy's flight happen?
Tomorrow she flies out.
Oh, I thought she was flying out on Sunday.
I thought it was. I thought she left on Monday, but I don't know for sure. She's not here. I haven't heard from her. She liked something of mine around 1 a.m. That's all I know.
Trying to get back on London time?
Yeah.
That's what I would do if I were her flying home. I would start staying up late and getting on London time.
Yeah. I got Russ who was talking to me. There's Barry Chad. Wakey, he said. At 8:33:53. I was awake and making coffee. That's why I didn't see you, Barry. So, where am I? Let me get back to the show. I thought there was something crucial there. I had a message come in from Rainey. And it wasn't to me. It was our family group chat. And she was talking to Abby and Bryn, who are coming up for Christmas. They're going to be staying here a few days.
Are they driving this time?
No, I think they're flying.
Damn it. I've got
Zach is coming. Zach is coming too.
It needs to go home with them. I don't want to ship it. That's part of why I was going to drive out with the motorhome to haul that damn chest.
Zach is coming up too. So
excellent. I wish they'd bring Dakota. I understand that, but I wish they'd bring.
I do. I wish they would too.
I like Dakota a lot.
Dad,
I'm listening.
Rowan, we're on a show.
Did they say anything about our Christmas presents in that family chat?
No.
Because I get those.
Yeah, they asked what are Abby and or what is Rowan getting for us this year?
Nothing. But they can get an iPhone.
You know what's nice about having
what are you doing for me, Rowan? I take you out to Chinese all the time. What are you doing for me?
What are you doing for me? You know, it's nice having children that are have done very good in business, like Abby and Bryn. I would affectionately call them the multimillionaires in the family, but they would say, "Oh, Dad, we don't make that much money," and they don't. It all goes back into the business. But let's put it this way: my daughters are very successful, and but my kids have gotten into the habit. They're like, ask the kids what they want for their birthday. Ask the kids what they want for Christmas every year, and they usually load them up pretty well. Last year, the year before, it might have been last year. You know, they got computers and laptops and Oculuses and all kinds of gifts like that. These big things.
Oh, we'd do that too if we had the ability.
Yeah, if we had, well, that's the thing. If we had the money, we'd do it ourselves. We'd get them a laptop. I did that one year. 3 years ago, I bought iPads for everybody. Oh, this was a contact that you had, and you said, I don't know how good or bad he is. I bought computers from him. He's okay. And so I bought computers from this guy. It took a long time for them to get here. We were worried they weren't going to get here for Christmas.
Yeah, I just drove over to the shop and picked it out and took it, put it.
Well, he had moved down to somewhere else. He was out of state now.
Oh.
And when I talked to him, and we got those, and they were not current. And so we ended up sending them all back within a week.
He gets them used from I told you that to start with. So it's like a corporation is going to replace all their computers, so they dump them all onto the market. And
yeah, well, that's what he does. More power to him. That's great business. What we found was that they didn't work for us. They couldn't even handle the internet that we had, and certain things. They couldn't do anything with the computers. The reasons we got them their own tablets was so that they could get online, leave ours alone. And so I bought 5 of them. I bought all iPods, Apple iPads, and we had to send them all back within a week or two. We were just like, dude, these aren't going to work. So
you guys made me mad. You took my tablet away.
Yeah, well, your tablet wasn't working very well. That was the problem. We couldn't get it to
my
work.
Mac came with like a full Adobe suite and everything. I have.
That's nice. I would love to get a new iPad. Just I don't have the money for it. You can spend $2,000 on an iPad now. So, Rainy needs a new computer. I want to upgrade my Mac system. You've seen my computer, Uncle Dave. And so I would like to take this one and give this to Rainy for her business, and I'll upgrade to a new computer on mine. Somebody might say, well, why don't you just get her the new computer? Well, because I do more graphics on mine. I do more business on mine. So we're teaching her to use Adobe Photoshop. She does pretty well. And some of the stuff she does. But she needs to have a better camera. She can't get on her computer and use the camera like this. It's all blotchy and stuff.
Are you saying women are educatable?
She is educatable.
Teachable?
My woman is teachable. Yes, she is. And she knows everything already. I just have to convince her in a sly way that it's something new that she is getting. I'm just expanding her knowledge. So,
speaking of expanding knowledge, when you finish the show, I desperately need you to pop over to Messenger, take a look at the portrait I sent you, and send me back some constructive
I saw that.
thoughts on that.
I saw that. I didn't get a chance to open it up and look at it yet, but I saw the miniature of it,
Yeah.
And I'll take a look at it.
It's getting better. I just don't.
One thing I will say, and this is not an insult, your style is a little hard edge. You got a harder edge. You haven't got that softness that comes for portraiture yet.
Yeah,
I know you're working on that. You've got a little different style. You can do trees and buildings and stuff like that fantastically. Awesome. But when it comes to faces, you've got you don't have a style for painting portraits.
Bob Ross has a famous story that he used to tell. So
yeah, I'll bet Bob Ross couldn't draw stickmen.
So he's awesome at landscape, and he was working with another artist, learning portraiture, right?
Yeah.
And finally one day, this instructor that he'd known for years, then he'd been working with, came up to him and said, Bob, you make wonderful mountains. You make amazing landscapes.
Amazing landscapes.
Why don't you just stay in your lane?
Yeah. That's exactly it. Faces are tough to draw and paint. Says
Well, and
Leslie. Yeah,
here's
they
my
are.
thing. We've got this huge wall mural coming up, and there's maybe 30 or 40 faces in it.
What wall mural is that?
It's for a lodge. And so the foreground is this grandmaster holding his hand out to like shake the hand of somebody that's
you did tell me about this.
Behind them are all the lodge brothers, each with their hand on the shoulder of another brother, showing the long line of stuff going back decades of brothers, right? And I don't want you to have to do all those faces.
Oh,
it's a lot of work. So
it's a lot of work.
I have got to up my game on the portraiture to be able to deal with.
Yeah, how detailed do they want those faces to be? Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the ones in the back we can do less detailed, but
sure,
clearly those ones in the front have to be, because that's all the current guys. They all have to be recognizable.
By the way, Pearson Castile, welcome. He says, got up and went out to eat and drink coffee black as my eyesight. LOL. He's blind. And so I'm glad that you have a sense of humor about that. Would you like your coffee black as your eyesight? How would you like your coffee? Black as my eyesight. Very funny.
I wasn't thinking at the time because, I don't have a governor when it comes to humor. I will just say what needs to be said if it's at the moment.
Yeah.
We're at a coffee place, and I'm with Laura, and the girl says, "How would you like your coffee?" And I said, "I like my coffee like I like my women, bitter and cold."
There it is.
Laura looks at me and goes, "Excuse me?"
He'll have the iced coffee.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, dear.
Yeah, sorry about that. Well, Laura, that's Laura. Laura once, we're at a big event. We're all dressed in our uniforms, French and Indian War stuff, and I'm in my tent, and we all were taking a little break, and we were going to have a little smoky treat away from the audience. There are those reenactors. You go out there all dressed historically and everything, down to the stitch and the button.
One of my pet peeves.
Sitting there having a Marlboro.
Yeah, one of my pet peeves.
Audience around.
Get yourself a clay pipe if you want to smoke in costume. Get yourself a clay pipe.
And so, you light up a clay pipe, and then that's period, which we used to do. But I went and I was looking for. I must have been loading up my clay pipe, and this was at Boone's, not Boonesboro, but a Boone related, Daniel Boone related site, the old Boone Farm Estate or something like that.
Yeah.
And we have all our troop tents, and I'm looking for a match, wooden matches. And I'm standing there with a couple of guys, and I've got my pipe in my teeth and a clay pipe, and I got no match. And Laura Locken happened to be just walking by at the time. I said, "Anybody got a match?" And she goes, "Yeah, my ass in your face." I just that was about 20 years ago, and I laughed. And so that's our.
She's wrong though. Your face was never that nice looking.
Yeah. Her ass was much better looking than my face. So now Laura married to a good friend of ours, Bill, who was one of the founders of the group. She dressed as a male soldier, and she was our drummer. And so she had a special red coat with her lace head, gold and yellow, not gold, bright yellow. And it's because she was a drummer. So
red and yellow trim. Yep.
Roger Rabbit says faces seem to be a talent you either have or don't. I'd say I specialized in faces over the years.
Now, I am happy with the Rembrandt face that I'm doing on my self-portrait. Even though I'm still...
So far, I saw that one this morning.
Well, but that's still underpainting. I'm still working, because Rembrandt does all these layers of glazes to get up to the finished portrait. And so that's... I'd done the shadow. Well, I'd done the umber, and then I did the shadow and the highlight. And now I'm going back in and adding flesh tone and flesh shadow and stuff. So I'm on my third layer.
I generally, when I paint, I don't like oils because it takes too long. I don't like the drying time. I don't like the layering. That's it. So I don't paint like one of the old masters. I don't do that.
I picked up a jar of the fast drying medium.
Yeah.
And one thing I figured out is when I'm leaning forward in painting, the tip of my beard
Yes.
hangs in the little bowl of fast drying media. And so I got done, and about this much of my beard was all glued together. So
Right. That's why you trimmed it the other day. So I like to paint in watercolor. I use acrylics every now and then, but watercolor is my medium, watercolor and gouache. And I like those mediums because I can continue to go back and blend. If I put down a layer in oils and it dries and you add layer after, you can't usually go back and alter that without, without painting over the top.
yeah.
And so I like watercolor because I can keep remixing and I can do effects with stuff and all of that. So yeah, beard
Well, and
brush is Ryan Gale. Hey Ryan.
That's my next thing. I'm doing the next 3 portraits in acrylic to see if I can deal with that better.
Yeah.
So
excuse me, yawning on air.
Ryan, I have a job for you.
A job for me to do
for
what?
Ryan Gale.
For Ryan.
And I will, Ryan, pay attention to your monitor because I'm going to actually show you a picture of what it is. I'll just roll the phone around. So is that showing up, Scott?
I see it.
Okay. This ship is from our lodge, sits on our fireplace mantle, and it's had some damage. The front spar is broken. The boats are coming off their rigging and stuff. And I need to have it. I don't know if you need to completely re-rig. I'm hoping you can just rig what needs to be fixed and such. But if you're interested, I will bring it over to you at some point.
Ryan's the man for that.
Yes, he is. And
I hear the pay is good, Ryan.
Yeah. We will pay you.
I meant I got a job for you that you can do for free, right?
No, I'm assuming that he's going to charge me. I'm just hoping that it doesn't have to be completely re-rigged because
he just said he can fix that.
Awesome. That would be awesome.
He's a master rigger.
He is. I bought an entire book on.
He said I don't charge bros.
Oh well, you can charge us something. That's fine. I bought a book on rigging.
Won't let you do it for free, Ryan. There you go.
I did buy a book on rigging, but it's in storage. I don't know which box it's in.
When you got to go to the book for rigging, Ryan's got it all. He just knows stuff. He may have to go to reference points, but I've always said I've got like Ryan said that's a pet peeve of mine is that people that come to you and want you to do free work because you're a friend or you're this or that. I never ask friends for free work. Bros, we're talking the brotherhood. I would say if you say I don't charge brothers, I would say brothers shouldn't ask you to do anything without offering you money first and making you sign on the dotted line that you will take it in order to do the work for them. So that's the way that works. It's a two-way street. What did Elderberry say? Watercolor has less buildup. You can cover and repaint if you need, and dry
That's true.
Quick.
That's true. I haven't worked in watercolors, well, even longer than I think I did portraiture. Well,
yeah.
So when I did costume studies, when I was actually in school and had to do all the things with the swatches and the whole thing, that was all in watercolor, and that was the easiest way to go because you can layer the tones and get all the different shading and stuff.
Right. Well, here's a good example of what I do in watercolor. Dave, you can bring up your paintings too because I want to show some of this stuff off. But to show a difference in paint styles, medium styles is what I mean. What kind of medium do you work in? Let's see. I got to save this as a PDF so I can load it up. Yes, I do. Let me get to the right spot here. Now I'll show you. This is a picture that many of you saw this if you're on my Facebook. This is a picture I was hired to do. I was commissioned to do this piece for a time. And it's, I did it in watercolor. I said, and I always tell people, I'm going to do that in watercolor, or I'm going to do it in pen and ink or whatever, or pencil. And I tell them right up front because I don't want them thinking I'm going to do a big oil painting. But here it's uploading right now, and I'll show you the difference between watercolor, and Dave will show you oils, what he's doing. There is also, well, it's taken a long time to do that one. But I'll show you a close-up as well to show you what the watercolor does. And, this isn't a lesson or anything, for anybody. This is just for fun. We're kind of showing you what the capability is of watercolor. Let's see if that holds its, yeah, it does. I'm going to do a close-up of this one as well. So I'm going to save this as, we'll call it close-up. And as a PDF, I have to resave them as anything I want to show you during the show. I've got to save as a PDF so it loads up. And because it won't just take a JPEG. The first one's almost loaded. Dave, break out to your portrait, your self-portrait.
Yeah, working on it.
That's a close-up.
Like a true artist, I sleep in my studio, so.
Yeah, there it is. Here, I'll throw this one up. Now, this is the finished piece that I had done for someone. He wanted me to do a painting that, he said, whatever you want to do. He says, I want an illustrated version of Teddy Roosevelt's Man in the Arena. It's not the critic who counts, not the strong man who points, not the one who points out how the strong man stumbled or where the doer of the deeds could have done them better and so on. But the credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly time and again. And even when he fails, he strives valiantly, and so on and so on. That quote. And so I said, I got a picture in mind. And this is what I did for him. Now, it doesn't even show the whole picture here, even though this is not I think it's because of the size. But
is that loosely based on Russell Crowe?
Loosely based on Russell Crowe.
Because I see a sort of resemblance, but it's clearly not a portrait of him.
It's clearly not him. Here's a close-up of the face. And so now this is watercolor. And what you can do with what I do with watercolor, I wanted to show the man whose face was marred by dust and sweat and blood. And so you've got I look at it now and I see flaws in it. I look at the teeth. I don't like the way I've got the teeth. I didn't shadow the teeth well enough on the top to make it look like they're set back in from the lip. It looks like they're right beneath the lip. And they're not. They'd be set in the mouth. So I've got his I look back at that and I go, there's something I should have fixed. But I really liked what this one did. I gave him this abrasion up on the forehead.
Yeah.
Little cut. And the way it mixed into the sweat is how I've got it coming down his face.
Yeah.
And the hair, you get, when you're sweaty, some of your hair sticks to your forehead, the rest pops out, and you've been working and so on.
Yeah.
So I look at those, and then this shoulder piece, I can't remember the name of that.
Pauldron.
Of the armor that's strapped on, and this goes down to about his waist. You see some of his garment that he's wearing here below, and then he wanted the quote in it, and so in the background I loosely painted in parts of the arena. But this is what you can do with watercolor, and you can achieve with watercolor. You can. Hey, Carlene Griggs-Smith, good to see you here this morning. We're not actually talking about painting. Watercolor is a main topic today. We're just on it, and it's like, and so I want you to take your little brush, and I want you to, and we'll just give him a little blood, and see how that blood works. Oh, and I think what we'll do now, we'll just give it a little trickle so it looks like it's going down into the sweat on his brow. But you got to remember, he's got an eyebrow there, so it's got to go around the eyebrow and down the ridge and across his cheekbone and down. So it's not going to be just a straight line coming down. There, we'll give him a little blood, and we won't show the gore of his dead enemy, but so painted just a little happy blood because he won.
Oh, you're too funny.
So
this is the next one I want to do.
Let's see what you got. Let me take this out. Oh, I see what that is. There it is. There's Rainy. Look at that,
love
folks.
the lighting
Here,
on that.
hold that up for just a second. I'm gonna bring you up so people can see that. That's a picture I took of Rainy back in. She was pregnant with Flynn by about 4 months, I think, in that picture. And we just threw a leather jacket on her. I was doing a photo shoot for senior pictures for a friend's daughter, and I said, Rainy, step in here. Your hair looks great today.
Well, and the lighting on that is perfect.
The lighting is wonderful on that picture.
Yeah. So
thank you, Leslie. Yeah, that was Rainy. That's a great shot of her. Let's see. She was pregnant with Flynn, so that would be 14 years ago that picture was taken.
This is one of the next ones I'm going to be doing.
That Bill Locken?
No.
From here, I can't see from here. Let's see. Let me blow him up a little bit. Oh, okay. King Charles.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. I like that. I like the red coat on that.
I do too.
Thank you, Carlene.
Portrait. This is actually the bow I used for the Viking picture.
Yes.
That's the photograph. It's sitting in port someplace.
Pull that up just a little higher. Go up a little bit with your pad. There you go. Yep. Very nice.
Okay.
Show that picture of Rainy again. I want to see that again.
Okay.
So Rainy never really takes a bad picture unless she forces it.
No, she doesn't.
Here, raise that up. So
hold on a second. Let me set it in the easel.
I will tell you, this is one of my very favorite pictures of Rainy. That, like I mentioned, I took that picture of her. That's 14 years ago. And her hair wasn't quite that red. It was the lighting. But I'm getting a big reflection of your window right across the face there. Sorry.
Yeah,
but,
I'm just getting...
That's
a
great
huge lag time on the little monitor, so I'm trying
to me, she, you can all correct me. I don't think she looks much different. You can tell she's 43 now instead of what would she have been, 29, 30 in that picture? Yeah. And so everybody changes, but she doesn't look much different. But she was 4 months pregnant with Flynn, our first boy. And and we did that during a photo shoot for a portrait shot for someone else. And Rainy doesn't age, says Kelly Bell. There is Dave's oil painting of that ship. Lindis, is that Lindisfarne, did you say?
Yeah, so it's Daybreak at Lindisfarne, and so I've gotten I did the Ravens last night. I don't know if you can see the close-up. I've been adding color to them so they're not just black.
Right.
Because they wouldn't read if they were just black. And though I will go in with a final black and lay in a little more black over the blue. But
yeah.
And I worked on the North Sea, and I'm getting ready I'm going to have mist and fog coming in across here, so it's like they're sailing out of the fog and such. But it's coming along. And I deepened the shadow down here of the Viking.
Yeah.
And added the shadow of the bird right here, standing up so that the light, and that's always tricky because he didn't exist in the photograph. So then I got to figure, okay, he's here, so the shadow's going to fall here, and then lay that in.
Yes.
So
who's messing with the screen out there? Oh.
Fucking screen.
Good morning, Rainy.
What's that the fucking screen for?
Here, your chair is over in this corner.
I hate that screen. Someday when you leave, I'm gonna burn it.
I love that screen.
Yeah.
Here, hold on, Dave.
Um,
There's the Rainy. Can you get that by yourself?
No.
Little lady, little woman. You're just a woman, but you can carry that chair. There she is. There she is. The morning queen.
I don't know what it smells like, but it smells gross down here.
It smells gross down here.
Yeah.
What are you smelling?
It smells like shit and piss and rotten something.
Probably smelling the cat box over on that side. I have always said I will only have cats if I never have to smell the cat box. Here, Dave, show that again. Here's Dave's self-portrait that he's working on.
Cool.
Layers. Donkey. It's
layers.
layers.
So just doing shadows and highlights, and then little by little you keep adding glazes and you get up to the proper flesh tones. Again, here on the glove, highlights and shadows. Highlights and
Oh,
shadows.
I thought that was just your jaundiced skin. That's gauntlets. Got it. Got it. Gloves.
I've got to do some work. This is off the photograph, but
Yeah.
the hilt to me seems like it's bent a little this way, and there's a curvature in the blade that,
Well, that comes with age.
yeah. so I've got to fix that. But that's the nice thing about painting is I can go in and fix that stuff.
Here's my morning wife. What the hell are you?
Hello,
Did you gummies or something? You're all giggly this morning. I'm just a happy person. I'm a naturally effervescent, positive, happy person.
I think it's leftovers from the mushrooms.
Might be leftovers from the mushroom.
Did you guys get some more cupcakes?
Yeah, no, I gave them mushrooms last night before I left. I gave them 2 capsules.
She
and
goes,
like,
"Here, take these."
Here, take these.
I go, "What is it?" And she goes, "Just take it."
'em.
And I said, "Wait, the
Don't
last
ask
time somebody
questions.
said that to me, I ended up married with children. So, just take it." So I took it, and she later told me she just comes in and she says that mushroom stuff. Okay, so I took it, and later in the day, she looks at me. Oh, she left and took the kids to miniature golf for the scouts, and I'm sitting on the sofa, and I went to sleep. I was like, I'm tired.
Rainy,
And,
is this one of your photographs?
Yes.
Yes, it's one of Rainy's photos.
That's one
Here,
of my
hold
gonna
that
be
up.
in-
Hold that up, Dave. Rainy is a photographer, by the way. She used to have a whole
Yeah.
darkroom set up when I first met her, and
Just
just
stuff.
it went into storage. But she does fantastic
That's
photography.
going to end up in an Uncle Dave.
Is that
painting.
an Alaskan
Cool.
mushroom?
That's an Alaskan mushroom. I don't know what kind, but it's a mushroom.
Don't eat it.
Don't eat it.
Until you know.
I'm just going to paint it.
Cool. I love mushrooms. They're
Hey,
so cute and
see,
pretty. Beautiful.
Carlene says you wouldn't like our cat, our Mittens cat. He uses the box and smells to high heck. And you know, Carlene, I hate cat box smell. I said I'd love to have a cat. Sure, that'd be fine. But the moment I smell the cat, he's out.
Well, here's
I don't want to smell litter box.
some of the problem. We're I don't want to say we're struggling. Everybody knows everybody struggles. So we're money's hard to come by this month. And it's either buy the 20, no, it's not even 20. What is it, like $24 now to buy that thing of litter?
Yeah.
It's
the
either
huge-
keep reusing the same litter and we get a little more stinkier as it goes, or we spend the money
We've got
on the
scoopable
litter.
litter, so you scoop the shit out of it. And
and not pay, the electric
Don't you
bill,
always?
or don't buy toilet paper.
I ran and got a good deal on toilet
Yeah,
paper
Oh
yesterday.
my God, we were out of toilet paper for like a day. It was terrible.
It's like, oh, we're out of toilet paper. Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Literally.
Scotty, don't use the
So-
towels in the girls' bathroom.
Yeah, really. And so we need a bidet is what we need. We need to invest in a bidet. Then all you got to do, you just spray yourself clean. And if you get the bidet that's got the blow dryer on it, like Rocky has, you just and you're
That's
dry
why
and
he's
you're
got all the
done.
stomach problems.
Yeah, maybe no, I doubt that's where
Blew-
his stomach problems come
Blew too
from.
much air up his butt.
Yeah, that might be. So yesterday I went to
He's
the
always had a lot of air up his butt.
we have a Dollar General up by the Quick Trip here in town. And so I went up there to see, well, how cheap can I get toilet paper today without spending a fortune? 'Cause
Okay,
you spend
But
$15.
you buy 27
wait.
rolls to
So I
do what
went
one roll will do.
Well, yeah,
Right.
yeah. With my children, yeah, it's every day this last week I was putting a new roll because I always know when they use one up because they never replace
And
it.
it's one of those things
And
like
so
they
every
don't
day,
understand how to use, like, you can't just be like, hey guys, be really careful with the toilet paper over the next week because we're really watching the money we're spending.
You don't have to use that. And
it's
part
like
of it,
they each use a whole freaking roll every day. And it's like, you guys, I'm gonna
part of it is not, it's not so much
I use a roll
we're
a week.
so broke,
maybe,
so watch the toilet paper. We're like,
or less.
Toilet paper costs money, guys.
Yeah.
So when you are using it, like Ellery, like she goes and pees, she just pees, piddles in the toilet. She uses a half a roll of toilet paper. I'll walk in, she goes, Dad, I clogged the toilet. If she tells me, I usually find it that way. And there's like a half a roll of toilet paper. And it's like, who did this? What are you doing?
I know what she's
because
doing. It's 4 to 6 pieces every time, and she wipes at least 6 times with new toilet paper because
and it's like
she wants to be dry.
She wants to be dry. It's like, well, use the blow dryer.
I think that's leftover from like cloth diapers. She does not like to be wet.
Something, whatever it is.
There's like some weird
psychological
thing from cloth diapers. I can't be wet.
I went to the Dollar General yesterday up at the top of the hill, and I was going to buy toilet paper, and the first set I saw was Scott tissue, 4 rolls of Scott tissue for $5.50. I thought, man, that's spendy. And then I look up to the shelf above, which is almost empty, and the whole back wall is where you find them. They had 4 rolls, a little smaller, but still decent toilet paper, $1 for 4 rolls. And I went, oh, that's as close as you get to. If it's free, it's for me. And so I got 2 packs of that, 8 rolls. We'll see how long that lasts in my household.
Till tomorrow.
And I warned everyone, be wise with the toilet paper. You don't have to use a whole roll of toilet paper to wipe yourself. Boom.
Anyways, all that to say cat litter. Cat litter is a little
Cat
spendy
litter.
right now. So
It's spendy.
We're having to use it a little longer than I like. And that new kitten stinks everything up.
That kitten is just like,
what the hell is he eating?
Everything he can find.
Anything he can. He had a mouse this morning.
Did he?
Yeah, he caught a mouse in our house.
Yay.
I woke up, Flynn. No, was it this morning or was it last night? Oh, I think I came upstairs at about 2 a.m. And I woke up Flynn because I said, you got to see this. Because I thought I saw out of the corner of my eye, I saw the cat, but then I saw something moving. And I thought, has he got a mouse? And sure enough, he had a mouse. And he was doing what cats do with mouse, and he was fucking with him. And just slap him around, and then the mouse would run and go, you're not free. And he'd catch him again. The mouse kept trying to get to this under the sofa.
Oh, gross.
And he finally lost him under the sofa.
Oh, gross.
So Flynn was out there, and we were looking for the mouse.
So you didn't actually catch it then?
No, we didn't catch him.
Caught it. Eck.
Dad.
So
God.
I didn't see any blood. I think he was just a little beat up. So Ryan, that government toilet paper is like wax paper. Ain't that the truth? Time for Roger Rabbit says, time for lockdown. The TP gets put in the safe. Yeah, that's about it. It's like, you kids, you have a roll a week.
No.
Use it wisely.
I want to go back to the mouse.
If you run out.
We found out yesterday that there was a mouse in the junk drawer. And
the drawer where we keep batteries and
just
stuff.
Over the last week, there's not just one. Obviously, there's more than one. But we got mice in this house, and it sucks.
Yeah, there's mice. They want to come in for the winter. I don't fault them. They want to be warm. I get that. I have a problem when they get into my cupboards. And you open up the drawer, the silverware drawer, and there's mouse poop in the silverware drawer. So what are you doing in the silverware drawer? There's no food in there.
They're not in our silverware drawer.
They're not in the silverware drawer, but
hopefully they won't be. But I put out tons of mouse traps this morning. Got all those sticky tape ones.
Yeah, watch the cat come walking up.
Just
He's stuck in what?
It's stuck in one of the stairs.
He's not stuck.
He is.
Oh boy.
Leave the goddamn cat alone.
Yeah, just leave him be.
Irritated all morning. It's been mom.
Why do you think Rainey's irritated a lot lately and is worn out? All she's got is
don't
kids
you
going,
wish that product I posted the other day was a real product?
Oh yeah, that would have been funny. I said I hope they have a 2-for-1 special.
Chloroform wipes, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Right.
Excuse me. By the way, I called this up and I loaded it. I'll show this.
Leslie, have a good lunch with your mom.
This is an illustration I just finished for a client.
Is that
And
Sam?
it's a totally different style. No, it's her son who died, and that's him in the reflection as well. And they wanted to put Wolverine. He was a big Wolverine fan, so he's up over the top, the Hugh Jackman Wolverine. Now this is done as, I don't know why it's not showing the whole picture. It goes down a little bit. It might be the banner. I don't know, but
I gotcha. It's fine. We see.
but there you go. Yeah, it's something. It's like that. And so she had an old picture of her son when he was dressed in his dad's uniform or something, and then a picture of him in his suit. And they weren't very good pictures. So I did it this way. I chose to do a black hard line like a comic book
upstairs,
and created this picture for her. And she's going to have this printed on an urn, which Rainey's going to do for her. So that's a totally different style, but
yeah,
that's an easy style. And that's pen and ink, and it's all digital. So I did it digitally, and then I painted it digitally. So there you go. Totally different style. Digital paint. It almost works like what you're doing, Dave, or what I'm doing. If you get the right setup and the right brushes, digital brushes, you can do it right on the computer.
Yeah, I don't have that touch. I can't do that.
There are some artists that are fantastic painters. And one of them I saw, my agent showed this guy's work to me. He does those fantastic fantasy novel covers where it's almost photorealistic, but you can tell it's fantasy. It's painting. And it's so clean and crisp and detailed and brilliant colors and everything. You go look up some of this work and you'll see it. But he was a painter for years. And he said, I've gone digital and I'll never go back. And not that he doesn't want to ever paint with a brush again. He says, I just do my work this way now. And that's what he does. And
well, and you don't end up drinking the
wrong cup. I've done that many times. I got a cup for my water for watercolor, and I got my coffee sitting there. And sometimes I'll wash the brush in the coffee and drink the watercolor wash cup, because you're not looking, you're painting. You pick it up and you take a sip, and
yeah,
it happens. So, what you got going there?
Nothing. Just checking.
Oh, I thought something you were going to talk about. Okay. So, how are you today? What's in your mind?
I'm crabby.
Are you?
I am. I'm grossed out. The mice thing set me off wrong, and then
I shouldn't have told her.
Kids constantly, not that, getting up this morning and finding there's mouse stuff on the countertops. There's mouse poop on the floor. It's like they just
don't leave the butter out.
That's really helpful in the middle of me talking.
Sorry.
Thanks.
I like to be helpful that way. If they're getting on the counters and running around the counters. So she put out all kinds of mouse traps this morning. So we didn't have, if we had mice in our other house, we didn't detect it. But when you see poop on stuff, little mouse poops.
Yeah, there's a way in. So I would start with the perimeter.
Like if you're gonna wiggle.
And try and figure out where they're coming in from.
Excuse me. Why don't you go away? I'll do radio by myself.
Well, I this morning was all wiggles in bed the whole time. Mom.
I know.
Mom. What time is it, Mom?
Why do you think I woke up?
What time is it? Hey, Mom, can I watch Wednesday in here? Mom. And it's like, let me fucking sleep. Don't wiggle me. And then she gets in, and then she's laying there watching TV, and she's wiggling the leg. She's turning the TV up, turning the TV down, turning the channel.
Why do you think I wake up when I wake up?
It's like, God damn it. I just want to close my eyes. I actually slept really well for the first night and probably
chloroform wipes.
Days.
Chloroform wipes. Yeah.
I didn't have a headache in the middle of the night. My brain didn't hurt.
That's
I didn't
good.
Feel like my face was.
That's because of the wonderful massage I gave you last night.
That's totally it.
It's totally it.
That or it's because I didn't
massage. That's why guys learn massage, so they can touch their wife's naked bodies without being sexual. At least as far as the wife knows.
I would gladly let you work on my shoulders and neck.
Yeah.
And maybe my lower back.
She's good at it.
I am, but I think I'm done. I think my massage days are over.
Oh, no.
Well, don't will it to happen.
It's
You're
not
very good at
willing
it.
Do I want to have surgery to fix my shoulder? Do I want to just
Yeah, they're telling her she
shove
needs
myself
surgery.
through pain every time I do a massage and then suffer the consequences for the 3 days after I do a massage? It's not willing it to be done. It's trying to figure out what I want to do. Because I can do the surgery and then I'm out 6 to 9 weeks unless there's rotator cuff that they're not picking up on the MRI. And then I'm out, I think he said like 6 to 9 months if it's a rotator cuff thing.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
What do you do? And so
I've got a rotator cuff issue on my left side. Thank God it's not my right, but
so do I. That's when I had my original heart attack that put me into surgery. I thought it was my rotator cuff.
yeah.
It went on for like 4 days before I said, this is not right. I should go get this checked out. Roger Rabbit says, I can't afford to care who supports what when you're this broke. Supporting myself and my family is all I'm capable of right now. Wish I could afford to actually choose where I spend my money. Those were the days.
Right.
Yeah, we're the same way,
I
Roger.
hear that.
It's we do what we can just to make sure we got the family covered and you keep a roof over your head.
Right. See, this is where Scotty always used to give me shit because I would run to 3 to 5 different stores whenever I'd go grocery shopping.
I didn't give you shit. It was just like,
You get irritated.
if you're going shopping, I'm not going with.
I'm not
I don't want to
going
go
with.
to
I don't
5
wanna go to
different
5
stores.
places and blah 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 blah.
It's shopping. No more
But-
shopping.
But I know what costs.
That's how you have to do it. I do the
Yeah.
same thing. I stop at 3 or 4 stores picking up groceries.
Well, I'd say to her, she's going to New Richmond, then she has to go to Stillwater for that. And I go, how much gas and time are you spending versus the pennies you will save between stores?
Yeah, but some things it's not just the pennies.
You go fill up my
Quality of
coffee with
produce
whatever
at one
buttons.
store greatly
microwave for
is
a
different
minute,
than
please.
quality at
And
another
15
store.
minutes.
Right.
Don't put anything funny in it.
I buy a lot of gluten-free stuff. So it's like I know that I can go to Walmart and buy, it's changed now, but it used to be the soup that I like to buy was $2.54 at Walmart. It was $3.54 at Target, and it was $5.59 at Cub Foods.
Yeah.
And I needed stuff at all 3 stores because all 3 stores have different prices on different things.
Well, not only that, they carry different product.
Yeah.
So
But I could go and spend all the money at Cub, but then I'm spending 3 to 5 times of what I was going to spend if I just went to the 3 to 5 different stores.
Yeah.
I'm the same way here. So there are things that I'll buy at Sam's and things that I'll buy at Walmart. The nice thing is they're basically in the same parking lot, so I can park between them and walk to both stores. But
Right.
there are things that I can't. So like I won't buy produce at Hy-Vee unless I have to, only because it's so much higher price. I can get better produce
1 minute.
cheaper at Walmart, but I can't. But there I don't like the berries. I buy the berries at Sam's because Sam's has a better selection. To look through.
Yes, 1 minute.
Jesus Christ, goddamn
How long?
kids.
Hey, put that in for a
Put
minute.
it in for 1
Yells from upstairs.
minute.
How long? 1 minute. Okay. How long? 1 minute. Hit the 1. Okay. Mom, how long?
Ah.
1 fucking minute. See, now that's where a kid, you would think that answering a kid and just tell him it's a minute long, that's a non-thing. That shouldn't create anger or rage or any kind of emotion until it's the 20th thing of the morning, and the morning's still young. It's only 10:30. And the 20th thing of the morning, and you've had to 5 times tell them the same thing.
I know.
Hey,
You're like,
My dad
God damn it,
likes to
fucking
brew
1
his
minute.
coffee on Monday, and then he'll drink. He's the only one that drinks out of that pot, so he reheats coffee all week long in the microwave. Okay, because he won't just let me do the
Wait,
K-cup
wait.
and make him a cup at a time.
Same pot of coffee for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah,
That gets a little old.
see, I can't do that either. But
and the
anyway, so it's like it's a minute, 1 minute in the microwave. Well, I put it in for 5 minutes, and it was too damn hot because it only takes a minute.
That's
just
just
1
1
minute.
minute, Dad.
Well, because I did it for 5 and it's too hot. Yes, I know that's too hot. 1 minute.
1 minute, 1. Yeah. So this is the way my kids are. To Flynn, we've gotten into Flynn. Look in my eyes. Listen to this. Open the can. Where do you find the can? Where is it? It's up in the cupboard above the toaster. Okay, Flynn, grab his shoulders. Flynn, look at me. Above the toaster cupboard.
Look at
He'll
my
get out in
eyes.
the kitchen.
Use your ears. Listen my lips.
I got it. And then he'll come back out and he'll go, I can't find it. I go, did you look in the cupboard above the toaster? He goes,
and then you don't even say above the cupboard. You look above the toaster. Well, you didn't say to look above the toaster.
You didn't say look above the toaster.
All he heard was the cupboard.
Yeah. It's like, when did you cut off what I was saying? At what point?
He was still focused on looking into your eyes. What's with your eyes?
What? Exactly.
Your nose is red like Santa Claus. Huh?
It's like, yeah. It's like don't give him too much to worry about along the way. Now, my son is not like retarded or anything like that. He's just in puberty, and so it's like, son.
Hold on a second. You go on.
I'm holding.
Parsons says it's $8 to get a gallon of milk at the store.
Holy crap, Pearson! Wow. So Susie Q, good to see you. She says, so late. You're not late. You're just early for the end of the show.
It's what is it? It's like $3.59 for a gallon of whole milk here because that's what we drink.
$3.59, which isn't too bad. Why are you laughing? There was not that much coffee left. What did you put in here?
Lots of creamer.
Here, drink that for me.
No, I don't like coffee.
Is that all creamer?
Not all of it.
What else did you put in my coffee? I wanted to drink my coffee.
Coffee and cream.
She filled it with coffee and then filled the rest of the cup with
Here,
creamer.
Mom, taste that.
No, I don't want to.
She walks up with Ellery walks up with my cup going, here's your coffee, Dad.
It
It's
looks like it's half a cup of creamer.
Yeah, look at that. I don't know if you all can see that. Look at that. I'm serious. I'm not going to drink that.
Why?
Because I don't know what you did to
That's
it.
a huge waste of creamer. She didn't do
If
anything
you use my
bad.
creamer, it's not bad. It's just I wanted to drink my coffee. Now I can't.
You can.
No, I
'cause
can't.
It's creamer.
What's in it?
Adults
What's in it?
don't like to drink creamer. It's like drinking melted ice cream. We don't like to drink melted ice cream.
Yeah, I can't drink that. But thank you.
It's coffee and creamer.
Yeah, about this much creamer and this much coffee. Yeah. No, thank you for going to get me more coffee, but the giggling and laughing on the way down while handing me the cup told the tale.
Carlene says they ran out of milk at their store.
Oh wow.
We're in cow country. They don't really run out of
Yeah,
milk here.
or Wisconsin. It's Dairyland. So
Cheese curd capital of the world. We always got milk.
that's
But
very
it's hard
true.
to find French wine sometimes.
Yeah, French wine stuff to come by. Speaking of,
Eggs. I can't believe how weird it is that eggs are always out.
Yeah,
I saw this.
I don't get that either. We have the same problem here that literally there'll be no eggs at all.
And eggs went
Yeah,
from
you'd
like
think.
79 cents to I think it's $4 a dozen now in the last like
Yeah,
6 months.
Crazy stupid.
Okay.
It's because they
I
burnt
don't
down
want the
all
cat on my shoulder.
the egg
Thank
places.
you.
Literally.
Thank you.
A whole bunch of places
Alley
that,
belly.
that do eggs all burnt down
Okay.
in the spring.
Thanks. Bye. Scram.
They had like 4 or 5 different fires within a month at different facilities. Get out of here.
Listen to your
Get
mom.
out of here. You're loud and noisy and you're pissing me off.
Yeah, you're being obnoxious. I don't need obnoxious. Okay. See.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
you
lamp
can walk-
is evil.
you
Don't
can
touch
walk
the
and do
lamp.
that. Go put some pants on too, please. You're not your mom. So
Olsen. Little Olsons.
yeah, just walking around with no pants.
Little Olsons.
Go put a cold wet rag on that. Go get a wet washcloth and put it on there, Ellie.
Well, you know why you scratched you?
No, she burned herself on the lamp.
Oh, she burned herself. Oh, this lamp. I'm gonna throw this out.
That's what
This
she
thing is
just
a-
told you.
I wasn't listening. I was
know.
talking.
Like children, you don't listen.
Yeah, no, I wasn't like intent in listening to what her whine was because I hear it all day long. I'm talking on the show. So
Have you studied Holbein much?
Holbein?
Yeah. Holbein the
No.
Younger, Holbein the Elder, the painters.
No,
Hans Holbein.
I have not.
So Hans Holbein did a portrait of Christ, and it's post-crucifixion, so he's basically laying on a slab, right? And his right hand is laying beside him like this.
Yeah.
Okay, as if he's flipping off those that are examining his body.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I was like, was that a thing back then?
Well, I know
Because
it's been
that goes
around
back
for a
to
while. What's
Agincourt,
Holbein?
doesn't it?
What's Holbein? Is he 14th century?
Yeah, he's 1500s. Yeah.
16th century then.
So my question, well, that goes back to Agincourt, I think, which would be the 13th century. So it would be around for about 100 years by then. I just find it really interesting that because it's when you look at the picture, it's so effing obvious. It's not like it's a random thing. It's an obvious thing.
Right.
It's not like the Magdalene finger prop, so there's a position that a lot of artists position a hand in to create the M for Magdalene. And that's not as obvious. You kind of have to look and go, oh, I see he's doing it. But this is like blatant and laid out there.
Nice. I'm gonna have to look that up now and see that. So I saw this one illustration once, and this guy's going like this, and I was wondering if there was a hidden message there.
It's not so hidden. That's the thing, and and it's a portrait of Christ, so it's like, really?
Yeah.
And he's it's not like a portrait of Christ where there's like 7 other figures in the portrait and stuff, and somebody in the background's doing that. This is Christ right up front, and just him.
Jesus flipping off the world.
Yeah. Screw you. I died for you. I died for you. Look at this. I died for you. F you.
Yeah. Now, here's a good topic for you. And probably one that's overdone, but I keep seeing. I heard Joe Pags is a conservative talk show host.
Know him? Yep.
Very well known out there, and good show. I love his stuff.
Yep.
And he was arguing a little mini argument with a guy over who put Jesus to death. And the guy said, "Well, it wasn't the Romans; it was the Jews who did it." And of course, that immediately sparks cries and caterwauls of anti-Semitism.
Oh yeah.
And so Joe Pags was saying, no, and historically this and that and this and that, it was the Romans who killed Jesus. And I wanted to call in. I wish I'd been able to call in and talk to his show, but and I wanted to say, look, I love you, but that's not exactly true.
I differ with you here. I think it is true, and here's why.
So why did the Romans were the ones who executed Jesus?
Okay, so Jesus represented the house of David.
Right.
So he had a legitimate claim to be king of the Jews. That's not what his mission was, but that's what the Romans feared. Here's somebody who came from this lineage, who has the ground swelling of the people behind him.
Mm-hmm.
He could overthrow the Pharisees. He could overthrow the Roman influence in Israel. He could push Rome out.
Yeah, Pilate had a good inside deal with the Pharisees and the ruling class.
Okay. Now, I don't blame the Jews. I blame the Pharisees, because they also looked at him and said, dude, this guy claiming to be the Messiah, or that people are calling the Messiah, is getting a ground swelling that could create a problem for us. Look what he did at the temple with the money changers.
Well, that's like saying, I don't blame the Jews. I blame the Pharisees. Well, I don't blame the Romans. I blame Pontius Pilate.
But clearly, the Romans used their law against him. And what I look at is, it's not until much later, when Constantine is doing his Council of Nicaea and all that they say, hey, we should put this blame on somebody, because they're still the Holy Roman Empire. Okay.
Sure.
They're still Rome, and they don't want to take if they're going to become Christians, we're the ones that put him to death. We can't take the blame for that. We got to put that blame on somebody. Let's put it on the Jews.
Well, see, I look at it this way. Did the Romans start the proceedings? They go, hey, we got to stop this Jesus guy. Let's kill him. No, it was the Pharisees. It was the ruling class of the religious theocratic class of Judea or Israel at the time. Why were they seeking to stop Jesus and put him to death? Because
he was a communist.
He was disrupting the flow of money into the temple coffers.
Yeah, he was a communist.
When he did the turning over of the tables of the money changers at the temple, and formed the little whip, and he held them out for 3 days. What did he do? He disrupted the flow of cash into the coffers at the temple.
And he made the common folks think about that and go, maybe he's right.
And then you've got, so what happens on the triumphal entry? They're talking about, no, that was not Raini and I last Saturday night. Throw it in.
Her expression when you said that. Oh my God.
But where Jesus on the Sunday before the crucifixion, which was on a Friday,
right,
he rides into the city on the foal of a donkey, and all the people are waving palm fronds and yelling Hosanna to the king and throwing the palm fronds on the ground in the path of the donkey. So like he walks into the town this way. And they're seeing him they're honoring him as the entering king. Now, could Rome have looked at that and gone, hey, yeah, this guy, he's a troublemaker. We need to get rid of him. No, it was the only thing we have recorded is that it was the Jewish ruling councilors. This is blasphemy. And what were they doing, by the way, when they're throwing the palm frond down and yelling Hosanna? We've talked about this before on this show. That was not a recognition of his divinity.
No, it's an answer to prophecy.
That was, it could be an answer to prophecy, but what it was exactly was 100 years earlier, the Maccabean revolt. Right. The Maccabean family, the symbol of the Maccabees was the palm frond, like the American eagle is in America. And when they saw him coming, they think, oh, this is the guy that's going to lead us out from under, he's going to deliver us from the bondage of Rome. And they're calling him the king. And they're saying, and they're waving the symbol of the Maccabean family,
right?
Which says, it's like the fist in the air, Hosanna to the king. He's the new Judas Maccabeus, and he's going to deliver us from Roman bondage. Well, that happened. Well, then the temple clearing happens a couple of days later, and by the end of the week, he's arrested. And why were not all these people gathered around cheering him on? Release Jesus. No, give us Barabbas, as the story tells us. When Pontius Pilate offers up somebody, why are the people turned against him in 5 short days? Well, because they figured out pretty quick, he's not a military ruler. He's not going to be a king. He's not here to overthrow Rome. He's here. He's talking about, he's preaching to us. And so that's why you didn't have anybody supporting him at that time. And by the end of the week. And so what I think you've got the Pharisees, the ruling class of Israel at the time, theocratic ruling class from the temple, saying, we want this guy out of the way. He's drawing people away. He's disrupting the temple funds. We want him out. I want you dead. I want his family dead. I want his disciples dead. That's kind of the whole Al Capone approach. And so what do? They would have taken him out and killed him already. They wanted to do it legally, though. They didn't just have him murdered. But what could they do? The Judea could not put anyone to death without a writ of execution from the Roman procurator. And so they had to take him to
So what
Pilate.
You're saying is they said, you can teach a man to fish. We'll show you how to sleep with the fish.
That's right. How to sleep with the fish. And so what according to the story, and nobody knows if all these accounts are true or not. If you're a person of faith, you believe they're true. What does it say? Pilate said, I don't find any fault in this guy. I don't know who this guy is. So if he's the Roman governor and he's going, I don't see any fault in him. He wasn't looking at him and going, oh, he's of the house of David. Maybe we should take him out. Nah, Pilate's saying, I see no fault. And he sends him away. He said, get out of here.
But again, this written 100 and some years later, and clearly, so that Rome
Well, if
doesn't
we
look
allow
bad.
for that, then we're saying the story is tainted from the beginning.
Right.
So as a person of faith, you can't accept that the story is true.
So you were
Because
saying
100 years later, somebody wrote it
so
differently.
you're saying that he was there to free him from Roman bondage, or they thought so. So you're saying he just forgot his safe word?
Nope. What he said was, what was his safe word? He did have a safe word.
They started whipping, and he forgot his safe word, so it went too far?
Yeah, he went to, he did forget his safe word to use it anyway. Well, what was Jesus' safe word? What did it, so it shows like an aside. And so you have to ask, where did they get the information? If this is an aside, a private conversation between Pilate and Jesus, well, somebody related it to him, whoever wrote it. And we're supposed to believe that God maintains the integrity of inspired written word. So it's supposed to be a true story according to faith. What does Pilate say to him? Jesus is mute. He's not saying anything. And Pilate says, he leans into him and he says, don't you know that I have the power to kill you, or the power to set you free? And you won't talk to me? And Jesus said, his answer was, you would have no power at all against me unless it was given to you by my Father in heaven. And it says, and from that moment on, Pilate sought to release him. And then you got the dream of Pilate's wife, which only appears in one of the Gospels. His wife dreams. She said, this Jesus of Nazareth, don't have anything to do with him. Let him go. Keep your hands clean of this. And,
She's
and
a
it's
witch burner.
She's a witch burner. So she had a dream. So Pilate, not only does it say he sought to diligent release him, it said his wife said, don't, if Rainey said to me, you need to not have anything to do with this guy. That's going to intensify
so
that
she'd
at
have
home.
to say that 7 times before you'd actually listen to her.
That's right. I'm a writer.
looking at past experience. I'm just saying.
Yes. Well, pretty much. Because I figure my wife can say things sometimes. I don't like him. You don't have to. Okay. But
and your best friend comes to you and says, "Yeah, this guy's a snake. Don't do anything with." Oh, he's my friend. No. He's your friend because he's using you right now.
That's right. So anyway, you've got this scene now. Why does Pilate finally give in? There's a key. The Pharisees, when they're in the presence of Pilate says, I don't see any fault in this guy. I'm not going to execute him. There's no need for that. Go away. Well, what do the Pharisees say to him? At that point, they say, well, he also claims to be the of the line of David. He claims to be the king. And he says, if you let him go, we'll just write Caesar and we'll tell Caesar that you are honoring a different king. And of course, now they got Pilate by the short hairs, because he's supposed to be placating the Jews, was the mandate given him by Tiberius Caesar. Placate the Jews. And now you got the Jews writing to Caesar telling us, hey, your guy Pilate, he's not placating us. They're going to say, well, he's honoring this guy that's an upstart in our country that claims to be, and his followers claim he's the king of the Jews. And that's treason if Pilate supports him. So what's Pilate done? According to that story, if you were able to connect the dots, Pilate was like, for him to have released Jesus would have been the greatest act of altruism from a guy that was not a believer. Right. He was a Roman. He didn't even know who this guy was prior to these trials. So he wasn't a believer of any kind.
Right. But again, that goes back to playing what I said. If Rome rewrites the Bible and they say, this is the way we're going to tell the story, that makes sense. Why not say it that way?
Well, what does Pilate say?
Because they walk away looking good. So when the Roman Catholic Church, which takes over the Roman Empire, really, when you look at the Roman Catholic Church in the Middle Ages, it was the Roman Empire. They just replaced the Caesar with a pope, and the Senate with the cardinals.
Yeah.
And what did the Senate wear? Red, to denote that they were in the Senate.
Sure.
So it's
Red stripe anyway.
well, but that denoted them as being above the rest.
Right.
And that's what the Cardinals got. Red robes to denote them being above the rest.
Right.
And such. I mean, it really, when you
pull
look
it back
at it,
to the story of Pilate. What does he do as a reaction to what they said? He said he washes his hands. He capitulates. He caves to the Sanhedrin.
Because I'll do what you want, but I'm against this.
He placates to the Sanhedrin. They need his signature to do a writ of execution. He gives it to him because of what they said. We'll tell Pilate that, or we'll tell Caesar that you are okay with this other guy walking around claiming he's the king of the Jews. And so they get it. They had him by the short hairs.
Right.
What does he do? He washes his hands and he says, "You take him and crucify him."
You take him, but it's still the Roman soldiers who take him, and it's still the Roman soldiers who crucify him. It's not a group of,
because they have the whole system of execution set up.
I understand that, but what I'm saying, it's still
they carried out the physical act, but they are not the ones that were seeking his death.
But written that way, it gives the church down the road the ability to say, this wasn't our fault. Pilate even tried to get out of it. We were forced into this situation by the Pharisees.
Right.
So
and remember, some of your manuscripts, I could say that might have been changed in the 3rd century because of the Roman Church had come into being. No, you've got manuscripts going as far back as the 2nd century.
Yeah, but it's Pilate not Pilate. It's Constantine who really oversees that.
In the early 300s, Constantine, he convoked the very first church council, the Council of Nicaea.
And there's
several councils
18 books they throw out because we don't want to conclude those books. That makes Rome look bad.
Well, see, no, it doesn't. What he said, he says, I don't give a good goddamn what you have, what books you preserve. He says, what I want is unanimity. He says, because the church is going to be a picture of my empire. There is one God and one church, just like there is one emperor and one empire. He said, this is going to be a model. So what you will do with this religion, I don't care what books you keep in the Bible. You just better damn well be unanimous. And he had his guy Eusebius overlooking it.
People aren't going to follow our faith if we're the ones that crucified him.
That might have been the thinking back then. He never said that, though. He just said, you be unanimous. Now, did they throw out books that had the crucifixion story in it? No. Other than some of the Gospels. There were 70 Gospels written, and only 4 ended up in canonized scripture. And so you've got all of those. And we keep discovering more Gospels. So I don't think the mandate was, make it look like the Jews killed him. He said, I don't care what book you put in there. It's got to be unanimous. You all have to unanimously decide. And the books they could not decide on were the ones that were removed under special mandate. These are the books we have a lot of conflict over. We're going to take them out of canon of scripture and put them into the apocryphal collection. So you've got, I don't think it's anti-Semitic at all to say the Jews killed Jesus. Is it an anti-Semitic statement to say David killed Goliath, a Philistine? No, that's not anti-Semitic. It's a historical fact. I think the historical fact is the Jews, the Jewish Sanhedrin, the ruling religious council of Judea in that day sought for his execution. Pilate didn't go to them and say, hey, I want to execute this Jesus guy. No, they went to Pilate and they said, we want a writ of execution. And Pilate originally denied it. I'm not going to do that. Fuck off. Basically, he didn't care. But they forced him into caring. And so he washes his hands of it. Why does he wash his hands? Because he doesn't want the trouble back home in Rome over him. And remember, he was appointed to his prefecture by a man named L. Aelius Sejanus. Sejanus was originally Tiberius Caesar's hand-picked, probably going to be his successor. And he had Sejanus running most of Rome while he was off on the island of Capri in his dotage. And Sejanus starts putting people into political office that are supporters of his. And he puts Pilate in as the governor of Judea. And pretty much you can read between the lines there. And Sejanus, by the way, was a rabid anti-Semite. He said, you suppress the Jews. Well, what happens? They uncover Sejanus as there's political plotting, as you can imagine. In Rome, back home in Rome, Sejanus is labeled a conspirator. He's going to take over the empire, even though that's what Caesar might have wanted. Well, what happens? They end up executing Sejanus and 300 of his family members and his political allies and people he had put into office. What happens out there in backwater Dust Bowl Judea? Pilate's not put to death, but I believe there is a lot to support that he got word from Rome. It says Sejanus is dead. You better take the stance that Tiberius has and placate the Jews. So he started placating the Jews and and doing what the Jews wanted. What did the Jews come to him and ask for? The Sanhedrin. They asked for the crucifixion or the execution of a guy that they didn't want around anymore. Pilate at least gave him a trial. And he says, I don't see any fault in this guy. I see no fault. Now, was he pure as a driven snow? I don't think so. He had his own political ambitions. Obviously, he's a procurator. He had his own deals going with the Sanhedrin. There's no doubt about that. There's a big thing about him using temple money to build his big aqueduct project. But there is also some belief that the aqueduct project, the way he sold it to the Sanhedrin was, we're going to run a special aqueduct into Jerusalem and into, across here, but we're going to route it to the temple. So you have your own special aqueduct coming in. And the Sanhedrin was like, oh, we like that. We like that. And so they allowed him to use temple money. Yeah, he had inside stuff going on with the Sanhedrin. But the Sanhedrin loved him about as much as they rubbed a stick in the eye because they're like, you're still Roman. We're doing deals with you, but you're still Roman. And you don't give us what we want. We'll make sure you have trouble back home. That's what they told him. And he capitulated. And it was like, do I want to end up dead? Or do I want to stay living? And who's this little country rabbi? I don't give a rat's ass what happens to him. He doesn't know him. He does nothing that's politically favorable for him. All Jesus represented in that moment they present that to him was a guy that if I let him live, I could very possibly end my career. And the thing is, if you look at these people and the way they did things back then, Jesus was a nobody to him. He probably didn't even know his name before he was brought to trial.
Well, that's because there was no mass media.
Right. And so did the Romans execute Jesus? Yeah. Are the Romans responsible for executing him? Yeah, because you needed the governor's signature. Was the motivation that of the Romans to kill Jesus? No. The motivation was the Jewish Sanhedrin. They were the ones that Pilate never would have put him to death if they hadn't come and asked for a writ of execution. So that's how I think the story is. You can put whatever character trait on Pilate you want. You can say he was really a dark, evil man that was ambitious and was working with the Sanhedrin. Yeah, so what? Everybody did back then. Or he was a decent guy who listened to his wife and wanted to genuinely set Jesus free. He could have been a decent man. But for him to have done that in the position he was in, the spiritual beliefs that he would have held, his question, by the way, of Jesus, he asked Jesus, is what is truth? Because Jesus said, I speak to you what's true, and so on. And Pilate very cynically said, what is truth? That was a phrase that was connected to a certain, there was a certain philosophical belief in Rome that had that as its banner. What is truth?
And they're still saying that today for defense.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton.
He said, what is
depends on what the definition of the word it is.
Yep. Basically. And so Pilate was a Roman. He was a Roman in government. He was a Roman probably wanting to get out of the Dust Bowl of Judea and do something different, I would imagine.
Just because you have facts doesn't mean it's true.
That's right. That's right. And so, yeah, he did what he did. So you can attribute whatever. There are some that say Pilate became. There were all these writings in the 2nd and 3rd century that Pilate converted to Christianity. That Pilate was, all these positive things. Nobody knows that. Some of those documents have been debunked. All we have some records of where Pilate went after he left Judea, which was several years later, 5 or 6 years after that, before he was done in Judea. We do know he existed because of the cornerstone that was found with his inscription on it. Are we on real week topics? Week, W-E-E-K. You mean, are we on a weekly topic, Grumpy, or are we on a week?
Asking if we're doing an Intrepid show now.
Are we on real week topics?
Like you would for Monday, Wednesday, or Friday with Intrepid.
Okay. Yeah, kind of. But it's just a talking thing.
But I have to fly.
I do too. Guess what? It's 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And folks, this is technically the end of the show. So, Uncle Dave, good to have you here today. Get out of here. Go do your thing.
All right.
Drive safe.
Take it easy.
Bye. All right, folks. It's just us now. So let's wrap this up. It's 11 o'clock. I thought this was recess, said Grumpy Stack. It is recess. We've all had a good time this morning. So I want to thank you all for coming in. Remember, we got a show Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We do the Intrepid radio program, of course, right here. Same spot, same place, same time, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. And we also have Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. We have Robertson. That would be Wendy Robertson and me. And that's it for our week coming up. That's our agenda. So there's absolutely no show coming out of this studio on Thursdays anymore. So you all, oh, there she is. Why, hello. You should come on, Wendy. The Dark Huntress is Wendy Robertson. Why don't you call in? Are you were you out late last night? I saw you messaged on one of my posts around 1 a.m. here, which would have been midnight there, something like that. So maybe you were out late. If you're up and presentable or not even presentable, why don't you call in? We'll give everybody a taste of what they're getting on Tuesday by you calling in. Let me, here, I'll even send you the invite. Copy. It's right here in the chat room as of right now, this moment. We'll do a little live promo for our Tuesday show, Robertson. So come on in, Dark Huntress. That reminds me, I'm going to go for a smoke after this show is over. And I will once again suckle at the teat of the Black Mistress. Or I almost said Dark Huntress.
That's the right one. Good morning.
That's the right one. Good morning. How are you this morning?
Well, mixed emotions this morning, mixed emotions and feelings.
Right. When do you leave for England? Tomorrow morning?
No, I leave 8:45 tonight, Canadian time. So that was about 3:45 a.m. UK time.
So a.m. So you'll be home by about noon. Thereabouts.
I know. I'm going to be across the pond. Yes, I am.
Yes, you will be. Yes, you will be. Are you presentable this morning?
No.
I didn't think so because you're not on camera.
No, I've just literally got out the bath and I just literally came on and I saw it.
Oh, once again, catching you right out of the bath.
But I'm still looking forward to our next chat, which of course is Tuesday.
That's right. Tuesday, Robertson, right here on this channel. You can also hear just the audio over on subspace.radio. And 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. And that would be 3 p.m. Calgary time. And that would be 10 p.m. British time.
Yes, all right. And apparently it snowed in Britain today.
Oh, how about this? You're going to come home and it's going to look like Calgary.
Oh, I wish it would, because London has only had a very, very slight covering. So, Yes, sadly
That
not.
just seems like an awfully long flight. I know for me to fly from Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport to London takes about 9 hours, 8 to 9 hours.
Yeah.
And now, but to go the other direction and to go to Calgary takes about 4 hours. So you're obviously going straight across Canada there and not stopping
Yeah,
here
straight
first.
across, and then I think we go over Iceland or Greenland, and then across to Ireland and Scotland, and then down the country that way. Normally, that's the way it goes.
Yes, you get to fly across the Heelands.
I saw that picture of you this morning, of you in Scotland, where Local Hero was actually filmed.
Which one? Oh, yeah, in Penn, Scotland.
And
I was talking to somebody on Instagram. She either lives in or around Penn, that little village. It's like a crescent moon shaped village set in the cliffs in the hillside facing the North Sea in Scotland, in Aberdeenshire. And so you're over to the west in the north of Scotland.
Wasn't Peter Capaldi wasn't Peter Capaldi?
Peter Capaldi was in that. He played he played the kid.
My favorite Doctor. My favorite.
Yes, he played Doctor Who recently. Peter Capaldi was in his 20s, I believe, in that movie, but the movie starred Peter Riegert, who many people recognized from, he played the middle-aged cop in the Jim Carrey movie Mask.
Yeah.
And that's how people recognize him. But he was in this movie. He played a Texas oil man working in procurements for a big Texas oil company. And he had to fly to Scotland to buy this little fishing village for the purpose of putting up a refinery in Scotland. And so his job was to go offer the townspeople, about 20 properties, a deal of a lifetime so he could buy and they could. And Burt Lancaster, one of his last films, played the owner of the oil company. And Peter Capaldi was the Scottish kid who was his connection in Scotland for the oil company. That was his gopher. And so that's where we first saw Peter Capaldi.
He's an amazing actor, and they asked him recently, would you ever go back to a Doctor Who special? And he said, no, I think I've done that, but we all know that everyone who's in Doctor Who lies, and they always tend to go tend to go back. But I'm just looking out the window and it's snowing. It's starting to snow here. I'm so depressed.
Yes. There were other great actors at great moments. Local Hero, folks, if you've never seen it, look up Local Hero. It was filmed in Scotland, all in this little village of Penn. If you're on my Instagram, you can see a picture I put up because this photographer, she's called Focal Hero Penn, I think is her full name there. She either lives in Penn or right around Penn. She puts up a lot of photography that she does around Penn. And there's not much to Penn. It's just a little strip of a crescent moon shaped town right on the ocean. I mean, literally the wharf, that's the road in front of the buildings. You drive off to the right, or you drop off into the ocean. So it's a beautiful little picturesque town. I told her the last I was there was in 1990.
Wow.
So 33 years ago almost.
Fine looking picture. You just look like an average Scot, really. Just average Scot in that picture.
So I'm an average Scot in that picture. All I'm not wearing is my kilt. No. So that was a fun shot. So a fun place to be.
What are you going to do for the rest of the day? What's your Sunday like, Scotty?
Oh, my Sunday is just going to be mellow today, I'm sure. I'm not going to do much of anything substantive. I think I might do some art if I come down here, but I'm going to go up and have a smoky treat. I'm going to suckle at the teat of the Dark Huntress. I mean, the Black Mistress. The Black Mistress.
Now.
The Black
Careful.
Mistress. Careful now.
You know when people start talking.
People will talk.
They already do, love. They
already do.
But I'm just so glad I caught you right at the end, because literally.
I'm glad you did too.
I just got out of the bath and I thought, I'm just going to see if he's still on, and I did. And so probably the next time you and I will speak will be on sometime tomorrow or whatever. And I'll be
Sometime
back.
tomorrow when you get home, give me a call.
I
and
will.
A shout. Let me know you made it in okay.
Hello, Kelly. So she said, hey, Wendy. Hiya. And
Yeah, there's Kelly Bell.
I'll be back. I'll be back. Hopefully over here around late February, I should be back. But then also I'm coming out to America, all being well, fingers crossed, in April. So that will be exciting. We have
Outstanding. We'll have to make that work.
Yes.
So
have
and I've got to get to England sometime here soon too.
Please do.
We got to do some. We got to do some filming out there, and I'm very serious about that. That's not just we ought to meet for coffee sometime. It's not one of those. It's we've been talking about this for a long time,
for years.
And now because of the show, I think we have more animus to get this going. I think we need to do something. We need to film some investigation stuff out in England and have you take us to some.
It's true because, like, you know, with Mark, there hasn't been a Strangely Us podcast out for a while, and he's had a tough ride lately. So Mark and I, but you know, when Mark and I go out and do the videos, it's absolute fun, and I think it would be lovely to see Robertson do it as well.
I think that'd be fantastic, and we got to have Mark along with us.
I'm sure he'd be in his element.
I think he would love that. So without having,
I'd be in my element.
Me too.
One on each side. Oh my God.
There it is. Yeah. It's you and two husbands.
Careful, boys. Husband one, husband two. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we're gonna arm wrestle. We'll arm wrestle in that. So, all right, Wendy, I'm gonna let you go because I gotta end this. And it's nice to talk to you, darling. And I will talk to you again sometime tomorrow.
All right, darling. See you later.
Have a good day.
Have
as much fun as you can today.
I will. Bye, love.
All right, sweetie. See you later. All right, folks. We got to get out of here. I'm getting the high sign to end the show, and it's 11:12. Pearson, I see that you had called in. Oh, now you're gone. Sorry, we're just ending the show, brother. So we will catch you another time. Everybody else, there's Steve Clark. Good to see you. Thank you. I hope you got my message, Steve. We did receive your package, and it's much appreciated. I'll probably give you a call a little later today. So everyone else, be sure you come back this week for Intrepid Radio, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. And be sure you come on Tuesday for Robertson with me and Wendy Robertson at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. And so thanks, everyone, for being here. And I will see you next time. Live long and prosper.